And it is 20 past 8. There has been no trades. There has been no trades. Nobody made a trade. So there were 2 trades total made. But Nigel Hamilton is staying on the Liberty by the looks of things. That was it. The Indiana Fever are going out with someone in the chat recording this live said Caitlin is the 3rd best player on this team. Behind who? KK Timpson. Because the quote unquote one of the best players in the Indiana Fever was awful today. Aliyah Boston looked like she barely knew how to play basketball. She was struggling to catch the ball today. She struggled to catch the ball. But at the end of the day, the Indiana Fever roster is not, I don't think, is good enough that you can call them a championship roster. Like you need the big 3 to be 3 of the 4 best players on the floor to win a game. That's just my opinion. They've got no defenders. None whatsoever. This team does not employ a single good defender. And if anyone tells me Lexi Hull's a good defender, I will tell them you are not watching the sport of basketball. Lexi Hull is one of the worst defenders in the league, period. Like, they didn't even give Lexi Hull they didn't even let Lexi Hull guard one of the 2 best players of the other team. They put KK Timpson on Olivia Miles before they put Lexi Hull on Olivia Miles. And I do want to apologize. KK is not a bad defender. KK is the best defender on this team. Like, I'm look through this roster. Kelsey Mitchell cannot guard a parked car. We don't need her to guard a parked car. She's one of the 3 best offensive players in the sport. Caitlin Clark cannot guard a parked car. We don't need her to. She's one of the 3 best offensive players in the sport. Aliyah Boston cannot guard any size. Like, Aliyah can guard Aja. Aliyah can guard Alyssa Thomas. Anyone who's physical and throws their weight around, like Aliyah used to not be able to guard Tiara McCown. She can't guard any size. Mo Billings can't play defense, period. Lexi Hall cannot guard anybody. Sophie Cunningham cannot guard anybody. Sophie Cunningham is slow. So she can guard like a slow guard, but like she kind of backs off too much, lets them pull up or will get burned on back, but she's just slow. Ty Harris can't guard anybody. MHA is okay. Raven Johnson is, what I will say, is one of those things where it's like, she was a good college defender, and everyone's like, oh, we saw her defend in South Carolina. Do you know what players have also won National Defensive Player of the Year in college? Camila Cardoso, Lauren Betts. Raven didn't even win it. Camila Cardoso, Lauren Betts, and Tiara McCann. All 3 of them are considered 3 of the worst defenders in the league. Like, Tiara McCann's out of the league. She can't play defense. Like, Raven is one of the worst defenders I've ever seen. Like, she's not a WNBA player. She turned the ball over today by forgetting that you have to pass in the inbound and just walk the ball onto the floor. Like, she has at least one Shackton a full possession every single game she plays. She has at least one Shackton a full possession. Someone said Raven was able to defend Sarah Strong in college. Yes, because they let her maul Sarah Strong. The South Carolina was she was mauling Sarah Strong. If she tried to do that in the WNBA, she would be fouled out in 10 minutes like she was against the Portland Fire. She would be fouled out in 10 minutes. She has been fouled out in 10 minutes in a game before. But at the end of the day, when you have 2 of the 3 best offensive players in the world, you are supposed to surround them with defenders, athletes, shooters. Aliyah is what she is. Aliyah is what she is. Mo Billings does not play either end of the floor particularly well. She's a good finisher. She can't catch the ball. Lexi Hull does not play either end of the floor well. Sophie Cunningham is a good offensive player, not a good defender. KK at least is an athlete. She's at least an athlete. Who's athletic on this team? Billings, kinda. Aliyah, kinda. KK, yes. Kelsey Mitchell, yes. Caitlin, yes. Lexi, no. Ty Harris, no. Raven, no. Hines Allen, no. Like, you don't really have the roster that suits these 2 players. And like, if you're going to build, I mean this, you had the trade deadline. Like, I'm convinced if you called up, because you've no interior defense. The first half, you were giving up open layups. You were just giving up open layups because you have no interior defense when KK Timpson isn't on the floor. So, what do you do then? Do you have to go and say, for me, I would have been shopping Raven all day. I would have been shopping Raven Johnson all day. It's okay to admit you made a mistake. It's okay to admit you made a mistake. That's fine to do. You can admit you made a mistake. That we made a mistake here. And the scariest part is that there's only one roster in the league that doesn't have severe flaws. The Aces are the number 2 seed. The problem with the Aces is they don't have anything. They have less depth than the Fever other than their big 3. And maybe Jewel. They have nothing. Like, their bench is non-existent. The third place is the Valks. The Valks don't have a scorer. Fourth place is it the Dream now? Or the Fever? I don't know which one. Is the Fever. The Fever can't guard. They're the opposite. They're the anti-Valkyries. The Valkyries can't score. The Fever are the opposite to the Valkyries. They're all offense, no defense. The Atlanta Dream don't execute well. Like, they rely too much on streaky players getting hot. They do. They rely too much on streaky players getting hot and hoping that Angel can bail them out by some 4-quarter defensive plays. Dallas, Jess Shepard can't guard anybody. Owak, I don't know. Alana Smith's confidence is shot. Arike's Arike. And then Paige is become passive Paige again. Like, Washington are too young. New York are too slow. They're just too slow, especially with Phoebish gone. They don't have the athleticism. They don't even have the size, which is their one big thing. So other than Minnesota, every roster is flawed. Is supremely flawed. But like, not even attempting. Like, the Dream tried to get Kelsey Plum. The Wings tried to get Benai Delaney Hamilton. And they can't play defense either. Like, these teams are trying. These teams are trying to build teams and get players together to help this team win. The Indiana Fever are just like, you know what, vibes. Like, you have Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, who are, in my opinion, by a decent amount, the 2 best players in the Eastern Conference. And if you are the Indiana Fever, whatever you do, if you don't get a top 3 seed, you fall to 6. You're not beating Minnesota in the playoffs. If you are not a top 3 seed, you fall to 6. It's as simple as that. You have a better shot beating the Valks than the Aces and getting to the finals than you do of beating Minnesota in round 2. Like, it's not that different if you get to, let's say, if you're 4-5 and you're playing Atlanta. It's not that big of a difference. Like, if you are the Indiana Fever and you're a Fever fan, you want them to fall to 6. Because, unfortunately, you can see how much better this roster is. Like, you can see how much better, like, the roster is. It's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Like, the Minnesota Lynx don't have that flaw. Everyone on their team can defend. Everyone on their team can shoot, outside of Natasha Hara, but Natasha Hara brings a lot of other things. The Indiana Fever, unfortunately, players that can, like, they have a bunch of defensively challenged and offensively challenged players. Like, you can't be both. Olivia Miles is so great. She had 5 points, second half, 1 bucket. Olivia Miles. Did you watch Olivia Miles in the first? Thank you for the $20. Did you watch her in the first half? She was absolutely ridiculous in the first half. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm going to head off now. I got to leave.